What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the PokeMMO Yap Sesh, episode 7. We have Rumel on. I'm saying that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, so I think Rumel was actually probably one of the first content creators I started watching. I mean, everybody obviously watched Pat at first, but I think you were probably the first one I watched that wasn't Pat.
Mhm.
Just, I think you released some kind of video. It was like around this time last year. You released some kind of video. It might have been like a Shiny Wars recap or something like that. He was reviewing it on the stream, and I caught that. I forget exactly
I
what it
think
was.
I think there might have been a video that Fong made, for Team Mister that I just did the narration for,
I think that's what it
that's
was, yeah.
covering Safari Week.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think that's exactly what it was, and then that made me
Um,
check out you, and, like, I prefer being in streams with, like, this isn't me throwing shade, but just, like, a little bit less viewers so that I feel, like, more engaged in the chat.
Definitely
So,
understandable.
yeah, so I
I
like
feel like
watching, like, some smaller streamers just
yeah, I feel like the bigger that you get as a streamer, the more, I don't know, the more people are vying for your attention at once, and it
yeah.
becomes impossible to talk to all of them. It can be really fun to hop into just, small streams. I actually really like to do that with, PokeMMO too,
Yeah,
just
well,
hopping into random small streams.
my favorite stream is a guy right now, and he averages 1 to 2 viewers, and it pisses me off that he doesn't get more because I think he's
Mhm.
doing one of the, like, coolest or, like, most difficult, challenges in the game. I'm not sure if you know who Flockin is?
I do not.
No, he's doing a shiny only challenge in PokeMMO.
Clearly, I need to join the flock.
Yeah, and, he already beat 1 game, and I think that's I'm sure people have done it before, but I think he might be the first person, like, recorded to have it completed.
Mhm.
So that's, like, who I've been watching, to me, just, like, criminally underrated. Like, it's such a grind to, like, beat a game with only shinies and, like, actually, like, stay with it and
Mhm.
not get burnt out on it. So yeah, that's who I've been watching, like, mostly. And every time I go and look at his channel, he's got, like, 1 to 2 viewers. I'm like, "No." Like, you need more, and, like, even his YouTube channel, I think he's got, like, 38 subs, and it's crazy to me because I think he's definitely my favorite to watch because it's such a grind and, like, a unique I guess it's not, like, super unique because I think there's, like, a couple people, like, doing it. I think there's a guy in Mister doing it, right? Epoch might be doing it,
Um
or Barrel. It was one of them, I think, that was doing it on, like, an alt.
I know Pat was doing shiny only, but kinda gave up on that uh, once it was revealed that you
You
could
can't
get
do it like
shiny locks.
yeah, you can't do, like, a
Yeah.
truly shiny only account because you have to beat the first region.
Yeah, you have to actually progress at least a little bit before shiny hunting.
Yeah. So, yeah, like, he
Um,
obviously has the 1 game beat, and then, like, he went and finished Unova doing shiny only, and now he's doing Johto shiny only, so, like, just to see him actually finish a region was, like, super cool to me, so now I'm just, like, dialed
yeah,
in
I feel
just
like it's unique to see someone actually progressing. I'll have to check that out.
yeah,
What's the name?
Flockin let me check exactly the channel. Yeah, so it's Flockin PokeMMO, and Flockin is, like, Flawken. And then I seen him, he's going for, like, a shiny I think it was, like, a bird challenge too, like,
Mhm.
on his main, that's what his goal is to get, like, all the shiny birds. Like, anything, like,
That's awesome.
collection-wise like that is, like, just super interesting to me, like, as somebody who's, like, doing their own, like, trying to get a collection of going for all the shiny dragons, I anytime I see somebody going for, like, a collection video, I'm like, "Oh, yeah, that's the shit I need to see."
Yeah, I love to see people's, I don't know, personal journeys, their individual goals and challenges and stuff like that. It can be really fun. I
Yeah,
know like Team Rocket's doing region locked content. That's really cool to see. Stuff like that.
Fungus has probably, like,
Yeah.
the craziest one, that one's so cool. I wish he, like,
If I could glaze Fong for a minute, it
yeah.
is crazy to see that dude shunt. Um, the unknown room is like a 2 by 2. Like, it's so small,
Yeah, no,
and
it's
he just sits in there all year long running back and forth and hits also. He gets shinies. It's crazy.
yeah, I think he's missing, like, what, 5 now?
An unbelievably small number.
Yeah.
When I joined Team Mister and I saw he was going for that, I'm like, "Man, it's gonna be a long time, and it's crazy to now be on the other side of, like, I don't know, a year or so, and looking back and be like, "Damn, he's actually
You might do it.
close."
Yeah, no, it's super sick. I mean, like, you have to make smaller goals like that in PokeMMO, right? Like, you can't sit there and say, "Ah, well, I'm gonna go for a shiny living dex," because nobody's gonna do that.
Mhm.
So you gotta make, like, little smaller goals like that to make it more interesting and, like, have your own actual goals. Because I think that's, like, probably one of the only things that's keeping me going in PokeMMO is having, like, my own
Mhm.
separate goals and, like, not just brain off shiny hunting for just, like, random shinies that I want.
Do you have something that you're going for at the moment?
Uh, well, Wars has kinda derailed it a little bit.
For sure.
So I'm in, for the most part, like, just the best spots and going for the most points, which is kinda like, eh. But our goal now is to, like, for us is to be like a top 5 English team because we know winning getting first isn't an option anymore
Right.
'cause, the boys on Steel Team 6 went insane mode.
Yeah, they went a little hard.
Yeah. There was, like it was, like, the first
It's
2
hard to
weeks.
stay motivated next to those
Yeah,
those chads.
the first 2 weeks, we were, like, kind of near them, and then when Cryogonal Cave came is when they really pulled ahead.
Yeah, I think, just looking at, Rizzy Bear's
Yeah,
shinies from War, from just the winter month alone,
yeah,
is enough to make me be like, "I am not gonna catch that."
yeah, I looked at his spreadsheet today, um, and he had 27 shinies since war started and
Mhm.
600,000 encounters.
600, damn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, like, some of those
It's
were in, like, a
amazing.
3x spot too, not just all in 5x's, so
Maybe I'm just a bad shunter, but it's amazing how many people have more encounters in War than I have this entire year.
yeah, actually, I'll take a look at my spreadsheet right now and see how many I have for war. Start here. Yeah, so I'm only at 174,000,
Mm.
not including, like, my current phases that I have, but yeah, nowhere close to that.
Yeah, I wanted to go a lot harder in War. Unfortunately, life happened, and 2 months is just a little bit too long for me, I
I
think.
do think 1 month would have been perfect. I think, like, everybody's kind of on that,
Right.
consensus that 1 month would have been the ideal amount. Just, like,
Yeah,
because you can't have it too short or else it's gonna be, like, fairly, like, luck-based and not
for sure.
like, it is still kind of luck-based, obviously, like, it's shiny hunting, but, um, I feel like the, um the length of it kinda makes it a little bit more, uh
Yeah, I feel like you get a large enough pool of data to see the trend or whatever.
yeah,
You
yeah.
see who's clearly going to win. I think about the PokeForce demo that just ended, and I don't know. There's a shiny competition that's going on for that,
Oh, really?
and yeah, I imagine that some of the people that were in like 10th or ninth maybe wanted a few more days to see if they could, eke out a better position. But the person in first place had like double the shinies of the next highest. It was
Oh, really?
so far ahead that it didn't matter if it was another month. It didn't matter if it was several more weeks. Like there was a clear winner.
Yeah, I didn't
we can
touch
we can stop
PokeForce,
now.
on this go through. I touched it a little bit on, like, the last demo that they put out, but I was like, "Ah,
Hmm.
it's just not enough for me to, like, actually get invested in." I'm excited to see, like, what happens with it because it seems like they're doing a little bit more than PokeMMO, which, like, has its positives and negatives, right? Some people like the bare bones of PokeMMO and how it's mostly just, like it's just Pokemon, but, like,
It's the
online.
classic
Yeah,
Pokemon experience for sure.
and then PokeForce is gonna be doing something else where it's like pushing and like adding extra stuff to it, which I think both have their own positives and negatives. So I'm excited to see
I
it.
I think that's one of the reasons why I'm the most excited for PokeForce is that it's not doing what PokeMMO is doing.
Yeah.
It is a very different vibe. It's a different feeling when you're playing it. It's got a different pace to it from what I've played of the demo, and it also feels like if you get to the late game of PokeForce, it's a type of game that you could maybe play at the same time as PokeMMO,
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking
which
too.
is kind of exciting.
That was going to be the next thing that I was going to bring up is like just because PokeForce and PokeMMO are competing doesn't mean we have to choose one. We could play both at the same time.
It's been a little frustrating to see how many people have been like, "Which one is better?" Like, "Is this better than PokeMMO? Is this better than PokeForce?" And I'm like, they're so different, for one, and also, like, PokeMMO has been around for 10 plus years. PokeForce is in pre-alpha. That being said, like, it's incredible to see how fun their pre-alpha is.
Yeah.
Um, I'm a little bit worried that they're not gonna be able to keep up the pace, but that's only because the pace has been so good.
Yeah.
Like, the demo blew me away in a lot of aspects, and I'm really excited for their next playtest.
Yeah. That's one of the biggest things, right? Like you can't play PokeMMO. You can't play two PokeMMOs on um one device. So
For sure.
playing PokeForce and PokeMMO, like, because I know like when a lot of people are like brain off shiny hunting, they'd like to be able to like maybe brain off shiny hunt on two accounts or whatever, like without having a second
Mhm.
device. And I think that's going to be perfect for that. So
Yeah, and if you wanna shunt on PokeMMO while, hitting the mines in PokeForce and just, like, leveling up your mining or something, it's a very different game. It's a very different experience that you're gonna have. So, I feel like it's very silly to compare them. Um, I feel like we should just be lifting them both up as, like, great games.
yeah, especially for like content creation, like the people who are like creating content, like it's like you just got like a free extra bunch of stuff to make videos about. I haven't done it personally because
Mhm.
I haven't played PokeForce, but I have seen a lot of stuff that like has me super excited for it, especially because like I'm a big like old school RuneScape enjoyer, and that seems like what they're trying to do is make Poke MMO plus old school RuneScape, and then add their own twist into it and stuff like that, which is super exciting.
It does have some hints of RuneScape. I was never someone that got super big into RuneScape, so for me, maybe some things are more, I don't know, nuanced or interesting to me because I'm experiencing them for the first time.
Yeah,
I know that clue scrolls were something that I was really, really excited to get in the PokeForce demo. I think that's something
yeah,
that's taken from RuneScape.
yeah,
Um, but also, like, it's really funny to see if we are to compare PokeForce versus PokeMMO. It's funny to see, I don't know, ideas implemented in PokeForce that I feel like we've been screaming for PokeMMO to implement for years. That they're just like, oh yeah, well, obviously we're going to put that in. Like there's already so much, I don't know, information available. Like throughout the demo, there was like leaderboards for
hmm
shinies, for who's in the lead, and they were able to keep that updated permanently with a bot. Whereas in PokeMMO, we have a 2 month long shiny war going on, and there's been zero updates about the score.
yeah.
Um,
Um, like I know you said you haven't watched any Yap Sessions yet. If there was one that
mhm.
like based on like you're just like and like trying to get some more information out of like devs and stuff like that, I would watch the one with Park.
Yeah,
The one with
I
Park
would.
was like super I learned a lot from it, and just like we talked a little bit about like some of their plans. Obviously, he's just a mod, so he doesn't know
Mhm.
everything, but like he has more of an insight than most players. So
Yeah.
I remember we were talking about it because next year the Shiny Wars is going to be the same thing as this year, pretty
Mhm.
much, except they want to have a live leaderboard for it. And I was like talking to
Right.
him about that, where if we have a live leaderboard in that, how far off are we from having like some kind of leaderboards or like information kept in just for everybody, right? Because if we're like
Mhm.
already doing it for a subset of players, I can't see it being that hard to just add for everybody.
Yeah, if you're going through the trouble, why not just make it work all of the time?
Yeah. So that was like one of the things. And I remember when I was like first getting interested in PokeForce, one of the things I brought up to one of the devs was adding like an encounter counter in game, because as much as archetype and like Gillians are
Mhm.
great, they're flawed because they're not like coded into the game. And I remember the
Right.
PokeForce dev said, "Well, like I mean, if people are actually interested in that, that shouldn't be that hard to do." I was like,
Yeah,
"Oh shit,
and
I love
and
that."
I'm pretty sure at this point it's, like, fully planned.
Yeah.
And then they also are going to have planned, like, a leaderboard of like driest player,
Oh, that's crazy.
most encounters since last shiny. So that way, if you are someone like poor Kuroshi, who's 300k plus dry, I think the last thing he told was 314k.
Oof.
Um, like if you're someone like that who is horribly, horribly dry, you can at least point to the leaderboards and be like, "Hey, I'm number one."
Yeah, I mean,
Everybody, give me your pity.
that, like
It's kind
that's
of neat.
that's actually one of the funnest things about going dry is just like that you're allowed to bitch.
Yeah.
Because I do that shit all
Like,
the time.
alright, finally.
Yeah. Nobody can get mad at me for bitching anymore. Like I know some people like as like they'll start bitching at like 11K dry and I'm like, "Bro, you're not even at odds yet."
I think you're allowed to complain at 15k dry, but I think you're only allowed to complain once. And then you're allowed to complain again at like 30k dry, but you're only allowed to complain once. And once you're over 60k dry, complain as much as you want. Like, yeah, you're in the shitter. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I have a probably a different one. I say like once you're 3x over odds is when you can bitch like nonstop.
Yeah, fair, fair.
I remember when I like my longest was 126K.
Mm,
Um, so that one was especially on stream, people just hearing me bitch all the time. And then I
yeah,
ended it with a magic heart. So I was like, like
damn.
tough.
Yeah, I did like 105k for Litwick, and then the worst one was like 112k, and I got a Ponyta phase going for
Oh,
Meowth.
yeah,
But
it's tough.
at least on both of those, it was 5 times hordes. Like I
Hmm.
can't imagine going 100k dry on singles.
Yeah.
I can't even do like 10k singles in a row without losing my mind.
Yeah. My single luck has been insane. I was talking about this recently to somebody, I forget who, but my average for singles is 7,300.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like I have no room to complain about that at all. And I think they've
I
all been under odds, every single one.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like my singles have all been kind of lucky with the number of encounters, but they've all been just random. Like I've got them while looking for legendaries.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Or, there was my APOM, which was the lowest encounters I've ever gotten and it ran. So
Yeah.
single
Yeah.
luck is cursed.
Yeah, my singles luck is good. I mean, I have lost a Safari shiny too, but it was just an Arbok, and it was like 6 days after getting
Ooh.
shiny Lapras from the Safari. So I
Oh,
like
damn.
I'm okay with losing the the Arbok.
Yeah, you caught the better one. I was
Yeah,
gonna say losing an Arbok hurts, but yeah, the if you have a consolation prize of a shiny Lapras, that helps.
yeah. That shiny Lapras is like it's probably one of the craziest things that'll ever happen to me in PokeMMO. But who
Hmm.
knows? Like I could get lucky like anytime. But
We're young. There's a
yeah,
long time left.
yeah. It was because I remember I accidentally threw a couple balls at Labrases I've seen just by like button mashing, and like all of
Mhm.
them ran away. And then I got the shiny one, and I was like, "Oh, this thing's definitely gonna run away." And then it stayed after 2 balls, and then finally caught it.
Yeah, isn't Lapras a pretty tough one in the sense that it'll stay a long time, but very hard to actually catch?
Yeah, I think that's what it was.
Those ones are the worst. Like I hate my APOM encounter so much just because it hurt, but at least it was over in seconds. Like I
Yeah,
threw one ball, it didn't shake at all, it broke out and it instantly ran away. So I didn't have to like, I don't know, have that back and forth of breaking out and then staying and breaking out and then staying.
yeah, you
I think
definitely.
I've heard of someone that had a Pokemon flee after the 15th ball in the Safari or something like that, and I
Bro,
can't even imagine.
the worst would be I'm not sure if this has ever happened. I'm sure it probably has, but like 30 balls, and then you just run out of Safari balls. I could like I don't
Oh,
I I think that would be one of the
I
worst things
hadn't
that could ever
even.
happen.
No, yeah, you're right. That would be the worst. If you're just like farming in the Safari Zone and you've got like I don't know, if you don't have a full set of Safari balls left and then
Yeah,
encounter the shiny, that's
that
rough.
would be
I did
terrifying.
in the PokeForce demo, I did just lose a shiny Hoot Hoot. Obviously, all of those shinies are going to be wiped anyways.
Yeah.
But in the demo, it was very, very easy for you to lose a shiny if you did not have enough Pokeballs,
Yeah,
or if
I never even knew
you
I
struggled to a
assume the
higher
odds are
level.
base odds in that game, right? That's what I
Um,
heard,
for,
like, they're
for the demo, it's
8,192?
for the demo is 1 out of 2K, just because they're going to get wiped. But for The main game, it's gonna be like 1 out of 20K. I think it's
Okay.
like 20K and some change.
Okay.
And I believe there's going to be some way to boost, just because there was a shiny charm in the demo. I don't know if that's gonna be the same, or if it's gonna operate the same in the main game. And we do also know that there's gonna be a pity system, for like Pokemon specific. So you can't do a whole bunch of like Rattata encounters and then go, hunt for a rare and the game will pity you. It's just going to be like pity you on the rat, if that
Hmm.
makes sense.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure how I feel about that. I mean, obviously,
I,
like they're gonna do what they're gonna do, but
it seems like it's going to be slight and capped. Um, I wasn't sure about it either. I'm still not 100% positive how I feel about it. But it seems like you have to go very dry for it to make too much of a difference,
mhm.
and it's not going to be like endless. So it's not the drier you go, the more lucky you get. It's going to be at a certain point, it's going to be capped.
Yeah, if they do that,
Um,
I hope that they're extreme, like they're transparent with it, which is like something that
yes,
PokeMMO isn't, right? Which like is fine as long as you're not constantly changing things, right?
for sure. I
I
think that's one of my biggest gripes with Poke MMO, to be honest, is the shiny change that they did as a bug fix.
Yeah, and like even for example, like they were talking about how they changed the legend. They're constantly like tweaking the legendaries encounter rate and stuff like that,
Mm,
right? And like
mm-hmm.
not telling us what it is. And it's like, oh, I just like I want to know if I'm unlucky or whatever. And then, for example, I think what they said is the like the legendaries have a lower shiny rate than everything else. So like the
Right,
shinies are like 1 in 8,092 for legendaries. But like if they've changed that before, like are current legendaries worth less because it's
right.
easier now than it was before? Or is it harder now than it was before? Did the people who like weren't shiny hunting when the legendaries first came out, did they miss their chance of getting one because now it's much harder than it used to be? And it's just like like I wish we just kind of knew that. Like I
For
wish the
sure.
like, transparency was like more there.
Yeah, it can be really frustrating, to spend, yeah, like hundreds or thousands of hours doing something and not really have an idea of how well you're doing, or where you're at in that process.
Yeah. I mean, it's exciting to see. One, I think PokeForce will, as long as they continue to work on it, I think it'll one push PokeMMO, and PokeMMO is probably like what inspired PokeForce, if I had to guess. So like having them push each other will be, I think, just like amazing for consumers, which like I think
I
is
think that's really what I want. Yeah, I really want PokeForce to do well, just because it will put a little bit of pressure on PokeMMO. Because as much as some people like to, I don't know, tout to me sometimes, I don't think there is any other Pokemon based MMO out there that's like worth playing.
no, I completely agree. I think some of them are probably worth playing for the playthrough and like
Yeah,
maybe
maybe for a little bit.
like certain aspects of the game. I forget which one it was that I played that you could like actually like when you're in a link with somebody and they get into a battle, like you guys do the battles together. Like that,
Yeah,
I forget which one that was, but that one was like
that
super.
sounds fun
I think it was like
for the
Poke One
storyline.
or something like that. And yeah, it's just like that's fun for the storyline and like whatever. But after that, it's like, oh, what else are we gonna do? And I even find that problem with PokeMMO too, where like there's not really a whole bunch of like end game content that you don't make for yourself. Um,
Hmm.
but besides
I mean,
PvP, I think PvP
once we
gets a
get
lot of.
raids, I think a lot of our problems are going to go away. If we have consistent raids, to like actually have a way to play together, to battle together, I think that'll solve a lot of those problems.
Yeah, I think so too. I think like anything just post game that you could do. The biggest thing I think is like activities that you could do with a group, like
Yeah,
because there's nothing on PokeMMO right now. I don't like unless it's like you organize it yourself, like a catch event or like a team shiny hunting event or like shiny wars or something like that. There's nothing that you're actually doing with other people. So I could like as much as PokeMMO is an MMO, the only thing really MMO about it is PvP and the like trade market. Everything else is
right.
just like you're just seeing people there. It's just like a game with a chat room.
For sure. It's kind of a weird feeling, yeah. I really hope that uh I really hope that the dev team keeps adding more things like official shiny wars, like catch events, like raids, and the event, like Obviously, the Christmas event had its problems when it was in the Lunar New Year event had its problems, but those sort of like multiplayer aspects, I
Hmm.
hope they continue to add and refine those because I think that's the most fun I've had playing the game. As much as I love shiny hunting, um,
It's a solo
like
thing. Like,
it's a solo experience. Yeah, it's very isolating a lot of the time.
yeah.
Any time that we can get together like as a team for team events or just like the global community can get together for an event,
Hmm.
it's like way more fun. I'm actually making memories, I feel like.
Yeah, one of my favorite things that like I'm doing now with like the new team that I created is like our monthly team hunts, and we all like hop in like Discord together and stuff like that. All share our screens, and it's just like it's
Hmm.
something to make shiny hunting a little bit less lonely, where we're all just like in voice chat together, and like if somebody gets a shiny, we all see it on our other screen or whatever because we have like a bunch of Discord streams open, and
Hmm.
it's just exciting to see that. Like that's probably like one of the biggest advantages of like being in a team and like having a team. It's just like other people like doing the same goals as you, or even like just pushing you to do your own goals and stuff like that.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah, not to keep talking about PokeForce, but I'm gonna keep talking about
no,
PokeForce.
as somebody who like I didn't touch it at all and I've barely seen anything, this is perfect for me.
I've been playing it nonstop all week. During the entire, demo, this like pre-alpha playtest, they've had like daily events, like I think multiple times a day. They've had devs and or mods running in-game events where, for this hour, like sort of similar to a catch event for PokeMMO, but we'd go and like everyone would go cut down trees. So you can go like level up your foraging skill, um, but also everyone's looking for clue scrolls, and whoever gets the most is going to get the winner for that event and get some points. And then at the end of the demo, I think there was like leaderboards for most points, and those people are going to get permanent badges on the forums. And I think some of the prizes for some of the competitions are going to have vanities assigned with them. I'm pretty sure Neo from Team Mister, who won the shiny uh, like competition, the shiny catching
Oh, is that who
competition,
won
is
it?
going to get a yeah. I'm pretty sure
Okay,
he's going to get a custom vanity permanently in the game, which is really neat to
yeah.
see that they're able to engage with the community and like drive those sort of events.
One question that I have actually, I guess, is like something that I'm not even sure of. What are clue scroll rewards? Like, in like, I mean, obviously, you're not gonna keep
In
them from the
the
games, but
Yeah. So in the demo, the things that you could get, I think I got really lucky. I got like a platinum axe, which is just it for the demo was just a reskinning of the rusty axe
okay,
for cutting down trees. I'm pretty sure in the main game it would be like
like maybe cut,
better at cutting down trees,
yeah,
cutting them down faster, or maybe you have a higher chance of better rewards from them. But you could get like just random items like big nuggets dropped from them. Um, I think you could get some rare berries. I know that if you were mining, you could get old ambers, and then old ambers would act like kind of a little loot box, kind of like the clue scroll would, in the sense that it would give you enigma berries or other rare items.
okay,
But the clue scrolls, you had to complete a quest to open. So like once you got a clue scroll, it'd be like you'd read it and be like, go battle a Pidgey and defeat it. And you'd have to go find a Pidgey, take it down, and then the clue scroll would give you the reward.
okay, yeah, that's super interesting. That's cool. Like, yeah, as somebody who like you didn't play RuneScape or didn't really get into it too much, um, clue scrolls in RuneScape have like clue scroll only uniques. Like that's the only way that you could get them.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I was curious to see if they would bring something like that to PokeForce, which would be like really cool. Like even like some
That
vanities
was
or stuff like that.
Yeah, I know that there was cat ears that some people were able to get in the demo. I wasn't lucky enough to get them. I forget if those dropped from Clue Scrolls or if they dropped from Old Ambers.
Okay.
But it seems like there was exclusive items to like use, like the axe, and also exclusive vanities already in the demo.
Okay.
And I'm pretty sure they're planning to add more.
Okay. Are you a big MMO player, or is like PokeMMO your like only like MMO
I
experience?
actually I actually don't play that much MMOs.
Okay.
I have played a little bit of Final Fantasy. My girlfriend got me into that. We played that for like a few months. Back in the day, I played like a little bit of I don't know, Wizard
Okay,
101.
yeah, yeah, baby's first
I've
MMO.
tried yeah, baby's first MMO. I played, like, some MMOs, but I've never gotten super heavily invested in an MMO before PokeMMO.
Okay. Yeah, so, like, I think what I'm about to say is, like, a fairly common, like, idea, but, like, right now, I think old school RuneScape is probably the best MMO out, and it's super exciting
Mhm.
to see PokeForce, like, implementing, like, a lot of stuff from old school RuneScape, so, like, that's super exciting for me,
Yeah.
and, like, one of the things that old school RuneScape has that I'd really like to see PokeForce bring in as well is, like, a collection log where all unique items that you can get from, like, killing bosses or, like, getting, like, a pet while you're skilling or, like, woodcutting or, like, mining or
Mhm.
whatever. You can get specific pets from that. They're all in the collection log, and, like, people on RuneScape are, like, constantly trying to fill out the collection log. Like, for example, like, beginner
Okay.
beginner clue scrolls in old school RuneScape have, like, 11 uniques. So, like, every time you're finishing them, you're trying to get the unique so that you finish your log, and it's just like an extra little goal in the game that you could flex. And then, like, even the easies and the mediums, they have like up to like 100 uniques that are only found in easy or medium clue scrolls. So it's like I'd love to see stuff like that because I feel like if they combined the best elements of like Pokemon and RuneScape together, I feel like the game that you'd have on your hand would just be like completely insane as long as it doesn't get shut down.
Yeah, for sure.
So, like, yeah,
Uh,
just hearing some of the stuff that's happening with PokeForce has me super excited.
yeah, I'm really excited, and from what I've played of the demo, it feels like that. It feels like, oh, this is a great idea, and that's a great idea. I love that I have these ideas here together. Like it's so fun to just run out, cut down a tree, like level up your woodworking, and then also have, I don't know, a rare Pokemon fall out of the tree or be able to shiny hunt while you're skilling. Like the best way to shiny hunt for Apom and Pineco in the demo was cutting down trees. So anyone that was wanting to shunt those Pokemon, was going to be leveling up their craft at the same time. I think that's really neat.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how the leveling up, like, your skills and stuff like that. I wonder how grindy it's going to be. As somebody who, like, come from RuneScape,
Really
I
grindy.
hope it's grindy as fuck.
It's so grindy. It's so grindy, and I love it. And I'm sure that some people are going to be turned off by that. I think that some people are not going to love that. They're not going to want to grind. But for people like me that want to sink hundreds of thousands of hours or
Yeah,
want to have something that they can do for a long time, it's really nice
yeah,
because you can have really high lofty goals. I think Oceans, one of the project developers, I forget exactly what his title is, but he's been talking to me about some of their plans for like level 100 and how many millions of XP that you will need to get there. Like I think in the demo, I got to level 27 mining, and even in the demo, there was level 50 mining hidden areas that I was not able to reach because I could not grind enough. I did not have enough time to level up my mining to get to that point, and I was only I think a quarter of the way there. So from level 25 to level 50 is like 3 times the XP, 4 times the XP. It's going to be an insanely grindy game. I feel like if you want to get all of your skills to level 100.
yeah. I mean, like, right now, I'm trying to remember, and I'm, like, looking up online how long it took, like, to get 99 runes or 99 woodcutting in RuneScape, but I'm
Hmm.
pretty sure it's, like, multiple 100 hours, which is something I want to see because that's a
I don't want people to be able to just get there immediately. It's so
I want it
boring.
to be a race to get them because like when old school RuneScape re-released, I remember at the beginning it was like multiple people like were all racing to get the first 99, and I feel like that would be so fun to do in PokeForce when it does release.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to be right there on release, just trying to make history in some way.
Yeah.
I was already speedrunning it a little bit, even though we only have the demo.
Okay, yeah. How far did it go? Did it go to like the second gym or like something like along those lines?
There wasn't any gyms. There was like 3 towns. I think it was Violet City, Cherry Grove, or Cherrywood, I, whatever it's called,
Yeah.
and then Newbark Town,
Okay.
and just all the routes that connect them. But also, it's like a reimagining of Johto, so they've kind of added in little hidden areas extra bits to the routes and things like that. So it's recognizable if you're experienced with Johto, but it's very unique.
Yeah, yeah. That's one thing I'm like I'm not sure where I sit on it, or I'm kind of on the fence about it. Like how much I want the game to stay true and how much I want like added or changed. I'm not sure exactly where I sit on that because I have seen other MMOs that like change too much and that's why they're like
Yeah.
less interesting to me. But like
You want it to still be recognizable.
yeah. Like if I'm playing
Yeah.
through Hoenn and I don't know how to get through like Petalburg Forest, I'll be like, what the hell? Like, come on.
For sure. It was funny. I when I was first started playing the PokeForce demo, I was very lost, and by the end of it, I had it all memorized. And then when I came back to PokeMMO, I was just sort of moving around the Johto region. I was like, "Oh, hey, I recognize this." I was like, "Now it makes sense in my brain."
Yeah.
I maybe should have stopped and thought about it a little bit more as I was moving through the routes because it is essentially the same route, you know.
But just like with like little additions, maybe.
Yeah, like more paths. I don't know. You can go through the trees where normally in like Pokemon, it's just a railroad. It's a
The trees
straight
are walls.
line.
Yeah.
The trees are walls. Yeah, like in this, there's going to be hidden paths behind the trees. You're going to be able to cut down some of the trees, um, things like that. There's a lot more. They've got to put the skills somewhere. Whereas in Pokemon, you're just battling Pokemon and then going to the next gym. In PokeForce, you're going to be like leveling up yourself, your character. Sure, you're going to be able to catch Pokemon and battle and do all the Pokemon stuff, but like you yourself are going to grow in skill. So they got to put that somewhere. So I'm guessing all the
Yeah.
routes are going to be expanded upon.
Yeah, that's something I actually didn't think about either because like the difference between old school RuneScape and Pokemon is like old school RuneScape is completely open and you can just do things as you want to do them. Whereas
Hmm.
in the game, they're going to kind of have to shoehorn like skills in through the game. That's something that I didn't even think of. Whereas like in RuneScape, like if you don't want to do something, you just don't have to do it. Whereas in
Hmm.
PokeForce, I feel like if you don't want to have to woodcut, it's like, ah, well, it sucks. You kind of have to woodcut to get through this part of the game or like something like that.
Fair. And I'm excited to see what options they have to, yeah, maybe move around that if you don't enjoy an activity. Because, like in PokeMMO, I don't like berry farming, so I just don't berry farm. I make my
Exactly.
money a different way. I'm curious to see if there are ways to maybe like level without actually leveling, but it's slower or something like that. Like, I
Hmm.
don't know if you could just make money and then buy levels or something. Um, Yeah, I'm not sure. I'll be interested to see how they tackle that
Yeah,
because
I do think like
I know they have 5 classes planned, and I think there's like 8 total skills.
okay. Yeah, as somebody who
It
like
is going to be
knows
open
nothing,
world.
I'm so excited to like just see all of this when it releases and stuff like that. Because like I'm not really a guy that'll play something that's going to get wiped. I just have a hard time
Mm,
doing like sinking my time into it and like you know.
for sure.
But once there comes out like a version that's not going to be like reset, I'm gonna be in that bitch like crazy.
Yeah. It was really painful to say goodbye to my shinies last night. I caught 2 shinies in the demo. One of them I actually liked. The other one was just a random bird, but I got a shiny Ghastly, and it was one I had a quest for. So I got like a whole bunch of XP and a whole bunch of money for completing the quest. And it was just a fun moment. Oh shit, I'm hitting things. It was just a fun moment to get on stream as well.
Mm.
And so I definitely understand like not wanting to invest any time until that's not going to be wasted.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing, especially like with wars going on right now. Even though we're not really like, competing in it anymore because we're not gonna win. Um, I'm just like, I could spend my time doing something that's gonna get wiped, or I could keep grinding wars and like try and do better there. So I was like, whatever. I'll play it eventually when it comes out. Especially like
Hmm.
the cynic in me is like, there's a chance that PokeForce never comes out.
It's true. I
Uh,
mean, it could very well happen.
yeah.
It's still pre-alpha. There's a lot of work that needs to be done. Um, I have faith in the development team just because I've seen them, I've talked to them. It feels like they're not going to stop. I'm curious to see how long it's going to take, to be
Hmm.
honest. I think they said 2025 at the earliest. which would make me think late
Yeah,
2025.
yeah.
But yeah, it could be years out. I'm not sure.
Yeah, who knows, right? And, like, who knows what's actually gonna come out when it's released, right? Like, is the game gonna be fully done? Or because I remember
Mhm.
I don't know if did you play PokeMMO back in, like, in its alpha?
No, so I only started playing PokeMMO 2 years ago.
Okay.
I'm a month away from, like, my 2-year anniversary.
Okay, yeah, yeah. So, I like, PokeMMO at the beginning only had the 1 region,
Mhm.
and I don't remember I think when it was in alpha, I'm not sure if they had the whole game released or if it was just up to, like, 4 gyms or something like that. I don't 100% remember, but, like, I've played PokeMMO back in the alpha and then stopped playing for years and then came back, but so it's hard to exactly remember what happened with it.
Mhm.
So, I'm curious if PokeForce will come out like, when they decide that they're not going to wipe anymore, I wonder if it's going to come out in an alpha where, like, the full game's not gonna be done, but the progression you make stays, or, like, if they're just gonna come out with 1 region fully done and then, like, no
So,
alpha just right away.
from my knowledge, this would be my guess. Again, it's a guess, but I'm pretty sure they're going to release the game once they have fully completed the Johto region, and all of the skills and all of the classes.
Okay,
So that way the base game essentially is done, and then I believe future updates will be adding in additional regions like Unova.
okay. Yeah, that's definitely interesting.
And
I'm
then,
super excited.
maybe adding in the future additional classes or maybe an additional skill or something like that. Um, but yeah, I'm really excited to see the full release, and what it really shakes out to be. Because right now, when it's all in, I don't know, dreamland and it's all ideas, all of their ideas are really, really good.
Yeah, it's just
I'm
implementing those ideas that could be the hard
Mhm.
part.
For sure. I mean, all doing all of the work is the hard part for sure.
Yeah.
But at least they're headed in the right direction, and it's very positive to see what they've done so far.
I'm super excited, like and I think that that game will probably have more, content opportunities than PokeMMO, where, like,
Mhm.
the content opportunities in PokeMMO are they're like, I mean, I've talked about this with other people multiple times where, like, it's the same video, just different spins on the same video all the time.
Yeah,
Um, we have, like, your money makers, you have your GTL flippers, you have your shiny hunters, and you have your PvPs, and that's it.
yeah.
So it's like it's just multiple people trying to, like, innovate on those ideas, and it's very hard. Where I feel like
Uh,
in PokeForce with, like, clue scrolls, like, there's possible that you could just be a guy who just does clue scrolls all the time, and that's all you do, like, shit like that.
for sure. There's so much more to the game that I feel like there's so many more possible guides or ways to go about it. Um, I feel like there's infinite content that could be made about PokeMMO, but for the individual creator doing like what you want to do, I definitely feel like being a shiny hunter and wanting to make videos around shiny hunting, it's very, very hard. A lot of the times in the editor, I'm just like, I've made this exact joke before, I've made this exact video before, or whatever. It's really hard to try to find like new ways to do it or new spins on it or things like that. And even then, like you said, you are just kind of spinning the same thing differently.
Yeah, and, like, even for, like, shiny hunting videos, the time sunk for how long the video is actually going to be is just
It's
like yeah,
ridiculous. Yeah.
it's like, well, like, on average, if you're doing 5x hordes with Donator and Charm going the whole time, like, you're spending 24 hours to make, like, a 3-minute video, and it's like, "Fuck." So,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's
That could be rough.
yeah, it's definitely been, like, a little bit difficult trying to content create in this game, but I know other people have, like they have other stuff, like, they're actually, like, smart about the game and stuff like that, so they have a lot more ideas than just the shiny
That's
hunter
the other
does.
thing. It's really hard to make a video when you're an idiot.
Yeah.
I struggle with that. I just like, man, I see Cabs videos on
Mhm.
some of his like red fights, and I can't even follow his video sometimes. Not because it's a bad video, but because I'm too dumb and I'm like having to look up, I'm like, okay, what does that word mean? I'm like, these are basic Pokemon things that I should know, and I just fully don't. It's amazing how much PokeMMO has taught me, uh, like how stab works.
Oh, yeah, that's definitely very important.
I'm pretty sure every time Spidget comes into my stream, I learn something about PvP that I really should have known before.
Yeah, I had Spidget on the podcast a couple episodes ago, and it was just like because he's such like a PvP guy, and I'm 0% like not a PvP guy. Um, it was just like it was two people that were just like talking to each other about like different parts of the game, and like the other was like completely ignorant on the other one, and it was just like it was just fun like going back and forth with them, talking about like one, I would talk about something that I know about, and then he would talk about something that he knows about, and we're always like, "Well, I got to take your word for it because I have
I have
no knowledge
no
to
idea
argue
how
with you
that
about it."
works. Yeah.
One thing I haven't really talked to you about, like usually I start off the podcast with it, is like your content creation journey. Like I don't know,
hmm
did you start any content creation before PokeMMO, or is PokeMMO like your first like stab at doing it, like streaming and stuff like that?
Yeah, for sure. I feel like I've been doing some form of like video or messing around with content, memes, whatever you want to call it, for the majority of my life. Like when I was a kid, I would make short films with my friends. I used to upload random videos to YouTube. Thank God they've now all been scrubbed from the internet because they are very cringe-inducing to me. But I used to make little funny sketches and short films and things like that. And then, was it like 5, 6 years ago? I started streaming. Maybe it was longer ago than that, but I very rarely did it. It was sort of just like whatever game I was interested in at the moment. And then I got serious about streaming for a time, and I streamed through all of the Dark Souls games. I made affiliate on Twitch doing that. Got a little audience of like I don't know 5 to 10 consistent viewers, and then I stopped streaming for like 2 years,
Yep.
and the pandemic happened, and life happened. I got very busy, and then I found PokeMMO, and I was like, there are almost no people streaming this game. There are almost no YouTube videos coming out about it, and I have like this burning desire to create, to like make something.
hmm
And so I just started making. I think I just started making memes for the game at first, and then I was like, I had an idea for a video, and so I made a video, and then I was like, okay, well, I guess I'm just making videos now. And I think I had made videos for about a month, and then I was like, I miss streaming. Why don't I start streaming the game again? And that's just taken off. And I feel like now I haven't uploaded a video in like 6 months, but I've been streaming as much as I can.
Yeah, like even though you haven't uploaded a video in a while, like I don't know if it's just me because of that's how I was introduced to you. But like I think of you as a YouTuber first and then like a streamer second. But like I guess you haven't uploaded in like 6 months. So I guess that's
Yeah,
probably not true.
I did buy a house. To be fair, I did buy a house and move. So I've been busy, but yeah. Part of the reason is that like you said, it's hard to find a new way to like make the same video, and I like to put a lot of time and effort into my videos, and
Oh, we are not the
I
same.
fair, fair. I feel like I'm maybe a bit too much of a perfectionist when it comes to them. So I've been working on a video for like 7 months now,
Oh yeah.
and that's not to say that it's like 7 months of work. It's that I keep scrapping it or coming back to it. I've made several videos that I've done 75% of the work on them and then had to completely throw them away because it
Mm.
took me too long and they're no longer relevant. Like I made a video for the event. I made a video for raids. Both of them I had to scrap because I just like couldn't get them done in time.
Oh yeah,
And
that's tough.
now they're no longer relevant. I'm hoping to rework them and then maybe be able to put them out if they become relevant again. But you know, such is the way of a YouTuber.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, there's been multiple times where I've like uploaded parts of a series. Um, like before I started PokeMMO, I played competitive games, and then um,
Oh, nice.
yeah, and then before that it was like NHL. So like NHL was probably like the first game I streamed.
Mhm.
um, and then just slowly like transition into whatever I'm playing to stream. But now that I've got the PokeMMO itch for stream, I think I've been streaming that for probably like 3 4 months now consistently.
It's a great game to stream.
Yeah, I think so too. As long as one, it's pretty easy to get viewers streaming PokeMMO because there's so many people that like want to watch something that
Mhm.
there's like
There's a
nobody
lot
really
of
streaming.
there's a lot of starved PokeMMO
Like
players
looking
out there.
looking for content and there is none. So like
Yeah.
I mean, I remember my first time streaming it, I was averaging like 5 or 6 viewers, which was like a lot for me because most of the time it was just like people I knew that would like pop in or whatever.
Right.
Whereas PokeMMO is actually like I've met so many different people through YouTube and through streaming, and it's so fucking weird. Like I remember I went to go buy berries from somebody, and they're like, "Wait, I recognize you from YouTube," and I'm like, "That's fucking weird to me. I cannot believe
Yeah.
that." um, and yeah, so like just stuff like that's pretty wild. So PokeMMO has definitely been my home for the last couple months, and I've gotten interested in actually making YouTube videos before. A lot of times before, I would just like upload stream highlights or like shiny clips or like whatever like that. Like anything that was just like I was doing already, so fuck it, may as well upload it. But I've
Mhm.
gotten into recently like for example, this is like completely offline. Um, Shout out Young Cabbage for starting this first
Mhm.
because like he did his podcast and then I think he got like busy with work or something like that. He's like, "Oh, I'm gonna have to put it on hold, or like he's not sure if he's gonna come back. And I'm like, well, I really liked watching them, so like I don't know if anybody else is gonna step up and do them, so fuck them, I'm gonna do it. And I reached out to him. I was like, "Hey, do you mind?" He's like, "Nope, go ahead." I'm like, "Hell yeah!" So I just started it up and been having fun with this since. And a couple things I have going on is like this. I have a Nuzlocke going on
Yeah.
because I'm not sure if anybody has a PokeMMO Nuzlocke like completely documented. I think some people have like a region done, but like not Nuzlocking the whole game in its entirety. So
Yeah.
that's
I've heard some people claim it, but I've never seen anyone, actually show proof of
yeah.
completing it.
Yeah, so that's why I was like, "Oh, whatever." Like, even if the views aren't doing well, like, I'm setting this, like, little challenge for myself and just, like, mostly documenting it for myself. If other people wanna watch it, then hell yeah, let's do it, but
I feel like that's also unfortunately one of those things where it's not gonna get views until you're done.
yeah.
And then it's gonna be one of those timeless things that, I don't know, constantly is come back to.
Yeah, exactly, like, that's like, usually with series, it's like the first episode gets a lot of views and then, like, it dies down, but I feel like with the Nuzlocke, if it's actually completed, then I feel like some people will, like, go back and watch it or, like, while they're searching for it, they might find it.
Right, right.
That's been, and then the last one that I uploaded is probably, like, one of my favorite videos I've ever done.
Mhm.
It's a monthly progression series where I just
Okay.
show, like, all of the progression that I've made in the month in PokeMMO, like, money makers, all the shinies I found, and then, like, with our team, we're working on a shiny dex, and we're, like, a fairly new team, so there's actually a lot of spots that still need to be filled out. So, like, I'm going through that, including, like, shiny reactions from the team, shiny reactions from me in that video, like, it's one that I'm super excited to make every month.
Hell yeah. That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
I love, I don't know, I love those sort of big compilation videos.
Yeah, and they've always been, like, the most successful ones I've done too. It's like anything with, like, big compilations, I'm like, "Oh, yeah, like, people love this shit."
That's kind of what I've started to do with my shinies, just because I've gotten so many that I don't care about.
Mhm.
It feels a little weird just be like make a whole video about, oh hey, I got another shiny rat that I didn't like or want.
Yeah.
Let me put them all together and I could make a fun video out of it.
One of my, like, one thing that I see a lot from, like, regular poke YouTubers, like shiny hunters and stuff like that, is they because shinies are so much easier to get in, like, the base games, like, you upload a shiny, like, nobody gives a fuck because, like, that took you, like, an hour to find. Um,
Mhm.
but what they've started doing is, like, doing, like, a little bit of, like, storytelling in their, like, shiny
Right.
videos of, like, "Oh, I'm going for this rare shiny, and here's all of the shinies that I got along the way." Which is what I did with my Dratini video. I just included, like, all of the I didn't upload the Magikarps at all until I got the Dratini, and then I included them in the Dratini video as, like, something like
Same.
yeah,
Yeah.
like, just some
Yeah,
kind
I've
of,
done
like
that for a couple of my
yeah,
longer shunts.
yeah. One I'm excited for because I don't think I've seen any of them yet, and me and my buddy are both, like, working on trying to finish it first, is the Zorua video. Like, showing, like how long we've been in Lost Orn and stuff like that.
Ah, that's a great hunt too.
Yeah, it's one of the most unique hunts, right? Like, there's two truly like unique hunts in this game, and that's one of them. So it's like you got to everybody. I feel like everybody has to have a Zorua phase in their life.
For sure. I mean, I just got my first one during this war.
Okay, yeah,
I'm
yeah,
excited to go back and get some more phases. I need to hit the woods.
yeah. I've been there for 5 phases now. I've stopped being there at night. Like right now, I'm at Trutagon at night just because I don't want to
Mm,
like collect 12 Ventipedes if I can avoid it.
for sure, for
Because
sure.
it's
Still need my
100%
first one, but
yeah, because at night it's
understandable.
100% Venipede, and then during the day it's like they include Cottony and Lilligant or Petalil. So once I get the Petalil and the Cottonies too, then I'll go back and I'll just be there at night anyway because everything's a duplicate. But
Right.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm hopeful that I can maybe get out of there without too many phases, considering how bad my phase luck has been. But knowing me, I'm gonna have like 20 of each.
yeah, yeah. That's I mean like on if you're on average you're getting 20 phases there. So like even
Yeah,
if you just go like double odds, which isn't that crazy to do, like we go double odds in hunts all the time. So if you
yeah, I
go
go
double
double odds every
odds,
day.
yeah, if you go double odds and like phase twice as many times as you're supposed to, you're gonna have like 40 shinies of like stuff that you don't even want. And it's just like, oh no,
Yeah,
that's horrible to think about.
I definitely understand why people egg for Zorba.
Yeah. Oh yeah, 100%. I personally like I mean this might sound like cope, but like I kind of enjoy phasing. I like the fact that like some shinies are just like harder to get if you're like
Hmm.
doing them that way. So
I
obviously like there's
agree.
some that
There's
are just like
a
too much, too hard to do. Like you're not singling for a Beldum because it's just too much of a pain in the ass.
unless you love pain.
Yeah. I mean, I'm in that
Yeah,
spot too, like in the Bagon spot. Like I'm going for Bagon. I'll definitely take a Beldum, don't get me wrong. But I've already got 2 Lunatones there and I'm just thinking about getting another one.
yeah. I feel like phasing can be nice. It can feel like, I don't know, you're climbing the next rung of the ladder towards your
Mhm.
shiny. It can be painful when you phase on like easy to get shinies. I think that's where the pain comes in. If like it's a 50-50 and you phase 3 times
Yeah.
or something, that's where it's really painful.
Yeah, I know there's a guy on my team who has 13 Magikarps now. I'm like, "Oh, that's tough."
Damn.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
the Dratini and Larvitar have claimed so many of my teammates and
yeah.
also me.
Yeah, I've gotten 8 Magikarps myself, which, like, while I was doing it, it was, like, pretty brutal, but, like, when I think about it, it's like, it's not that bad. I know people can definitely go worse, and then I have another teammate who has, I think, 5 Axi or 5, Woobats, which I think that's,
Damn.
like, a 60/40, so that one's really rough.
Yeah, I got 3 Woobats and I got them before the split happened.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
And then
that's
I have 1 carp from the Dratini spot that I just got. It's actually my most recent shiny.
yeah. I'm not, like, super upset about like, the phase or, like, the shiny hunting horde changes that they made. I just wish that they didn't implement it until they added other stuff to those spots. Like, because that's what they said they were going to do as well. Like, they were going to include other Pokemon, so it wasn't just gonna be, like,
Mm,
20%
mhm.
Dratini and 80% Magikarp. Like, maybe throw, like, a 30% Seadra in there instead of, like, that. Like, just add something else so that there's you're still just as unlikely to get a Dratini, but you're not gonna get 8 carps while looking for one. Like you may get
For
like a
sure.
carp and a horsey or something like that. Just like even if they completely made everything that they do in the game, like for example, like in that bag on spot, or like in the bag on and Beldum spot, like even if they included like a 1% chance to get like a bag on horde or something like that,
Right.
I feel like that would just like add so much more and just like make hoarding a little bit less boring because you could still get rare stuff, but like at an extremely
I
rare
take
rate.
anything I take anything that adds variety to it. Yeah,
Exactly.
anything that shakes it up.
Yeah, it doesn't even have to be good shit. like
Exactly, yeah.
it
Give
just
me give me more faces of terrible Pokemon, I don't care,
it,
just
something
make
that's
it
not
different.
26 Magikarps.
Yeah.
yeah.
Hit me over the head a different way this time,
Yeah,
please.
yeah. Just in a different spot, please. That's it.
Yeah, I think I have 3 Onyxes from the Larvitar spot, and every time I go back there, I can only do, like, I don't know, 1,000 encounters before I'm like, I need to leave. I'm seeing way too many onyxes. I
Yeah,
just need to get out of here.
even if like it's not like everybody's favorite, but like even if they added like a golem there or something.
Yeah, it should definitely be a Geodude like Onyx split or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like just add in more opportunities to get different shinies. I also think that I don't know. I don't love the change that they did that much. I think it's still too dramatic in the sense that like if you want a Larvitar, you have to phase so many times to get one. Um, I wish it was maybe just a little bit easier. I don't know. I think it's still a little bit too extreme.
Yeah, I'm on like I guess kind of on either side of the fence there because I do want some shinies to be extremely rare. And I think like pseudo legendaries are one that like you could probably be okay with being rare because like I'm actually kind of surprised that so many of them are in hordes to begin with.
Right. And
Like
that's the thing is why you put it in a horde and then lock it behind so many phases.
yeah,
Why not just have it be a single or an egg?
yeah.
Because Larvitar was going to be one of the mons that I was going to egg.
And then they came out with a horde and you're like, ah, well, not
And they
anymore.
came out with a horde, and I was like, all right, well, I guess I'll just go there. And then I got a couple onyxes and got a couple of rats at a different spot, and and then
Yeah.
they made it harder, and I was just like, ah, shit. All
Yeah,
right, now I'm never getting this thing.
yeah, it's one of the things where I wish I went for Dratini earlier
Same.
because like I could have got it so much easier.
Yeah. And I guess the problem is that I don't want to egg it because obviously the best way is to go for a 5 times horde. It'd be silly to egg it,
Hmm.
but that just means I have to endure
A
probably
bunch of
5 to 10
onyxes and
more
Magikarps.
onyxes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's brutal.
I
But
find myself paydaying, to be honest, more than doing hordes at Dragon's Den.
oh yeah, yeah. I guess that's
Yeah,
something that you could do to get it like passively if you're gonna
because
payday
that
anyway.
still gives me the copium for Dratini, but I
Yeah,
can like make some money on the side.
yeah, that's true. Well, we're at an hour now. I want to thank you for coming on. I,
Yeah, thank you for having me. It's been a blast.
I don't know if you have any stuff that you want to shout out. Like I'm gonna throw your links in the description anyway. But where can people find you?
Follow me on Twitch, Ramel45. I'm also on YouTube. You can watch my videos if you haven't seen them. I'm very proud of most of them. And I might make a new YouTube video at some point. So yeah, subscribe.
Yeah, definitely go check out Rumel. He's one of the people that got me into streaming PokeMMO and into content creation for PokeMMO. So been nice having him on, coming full circle.
Yeah, I'm excited to see you continue to grow. I'm excited to see more YouTube videos out of you. I love to see what different people create because I feel like, I don't know, not to get too sappy, I feel like everyone has their own unique voice with videos and with streaming. I think it's really exciting to see also you shouting out other people, bringing people on for podcasting and stuff like that. I'm
Yeah,
very excited to see
yeah.
more from you.
Yeah, I'm excited to see. Like, I want more people. Like, one thing I tell everybody, like anybody who like plays the game and even has like a slight like desire to make YouTube videos or to stream, I said, do it. Like, do it.
Do
We,
it.
we, we need more people
Do
doing
it.
it. It's the only way that this game's going to grow more is just by getting more eyes on it. So I think
Absolutely.
everybody who can stream or like wants to stream or anything like that should be doing it because even if the people who fuck with Pat don't fuck with you. There's other people who, not by like any fault of like Pat's or anything like that, but there's people out there who don't fuck with Pat and want to watch something else. Like they don't like there's there's someone out there for everyone. So like if you're making different type of content or if you want to make content but you're like, "Oh, I'm not really like Pat, like I'm not giving people knowledge or stuff like that." It's like, well, not everybody wants that. Some people want like a guy to just sit there and like fuck around and shiny hunt and like goof off. So like go out there and make your own type of content because there's someone out there looking for it.
For sure.
All right. Well, weird rant at the end, but thanks for coming on, man.
You gotta have the call to action at the end, you know? Go make content, people.